Welcome to my expat stories. This one's going to divide you lot clean in half. Some of you will call him the biggest mug on the planet. Others will say he's found something real. Either way, you'll have something to say about it. Andy, 47, electrician from Sheffield. Divorced, 2 kids grown. Went to Colombia for 3 weeks in 2019. Met a woman in a lakeside village called Guatapé. Never left. Spent $180,000. House is in her name. Her family lives next door. And a spiritual healer they call a Brujo has been bleeding him dry for 4 years. Love or long con? Andy says it's more complicated than that. If you have ever stayed in something because leaving felt worse than staying, you need to hear Andy's side. Subscribe and like for more Colombia stories. Here's Andy. I'll be straight with you. I didn't go to Colombia looking for a wife. I went because I was sick of Sheffield in February. And my mate Dave kept banging on about Medellin. 3 weeks. That was the plan. See Bogota, see Medellin, get some sun, come home. I'm an electrician. Been doing it 28 years. Proper steady work. Council. Contracts mostly. Bit of residential on the side. Divorced in 2015 after 18 years of marriage. No drama, just grew apart. Kids were 19 and 21 by 2019. Both moved out, doing their own thing. My daughter was at uni in Manchester. My son was working in Leeds. They'd visit on Sundays sometimes, but they had their own lives. I had some money saved. Not loaded, but comfortable. 50 grand in the bank from years of putting it away. Owned my flat in Hillsborough outright. Paid it off in 2017, no mortgage, no debt. Thought I'd treat myself to a proper holiday for once. First week was Bogota, stayed in Candelaria, the old town. Cold as Sheffield, raining half the time. Proper disappointing. Tourist spots were all right, but nothing special. I was ready to bin it off and head home early. Then Dave said go to Medellin. Better weather, more life to it. So I went. It was better, I'll give you that. Warm, big city energy. Loads of cafes and restaurants, but it was full of backpackers talking. About hostel drama and digital nomads, banging on about crypto and passive income. I'm a 43-year-old divorced electrician from Yorkshire. I didn't fit in. By week 2 I was thinking I'd wasted my money. Should have just gone to Spain like a normal person. Then Dave messaged me. Go to Guatapé, he said. Little village 2 hours from Medellin. It's class. Massive lake, colourful buildings, big rock you can climb called El Peñón. Tourist spot but quieter, more Colombian, less backpacker hostels. So I went, got a bus from the terminal. 2 hours through mountains. Arrived mid-afternoon. The village was proper lovely. Like a postcard. Every building painted bright colours with these little raised designs on the walls. The lake was massive, blue-green water, islands dotting it. I got a room in a small hostel near the centre. £8 a night. Met Carolina my second day there. She worked at a little restaurant near the waterfront. I went in for lunch because it looked quiet, and I'm not great with crowds. Ordered bandeja paisa because I recognised the picture on the menu and couldn't pronounce anything else. She brought it over and laughed. Not at me, just warm-like. You're not Colombian, she said in English. Sheffield, I said. Where's that? She asked. North of England, near Manchester. She had no idea where Manchester was either, but she smiled like it didn't matter. She was 32, dark hair down to her shoulders, big brown eyes, proper beautiful. But it wasn't just that. She had this calm about her. She wasn't rushing around trying to impress anyone. Just did her job, chatted with the locals in Spanish, wiped down tables, seemed content with her life. I went back to that restaurant every day for a week. Breakfast, lunch, sometimes dinner. She started sitting with me between orders. Her English was decent, my Spanish was shite. We made it work. Google Translate helped. She asked about my kids. I showed her photos. She thought my daughter was beautiful. Asked if I missed them. I said I did, but they were grown now, living their own lives. She nodded like she understood, but I could tell family meant something different to her. I asked about her life. She'd lived in Guatapé her whole life. Born there. Never been to Bogota. Never been on a plane. Her world was this village and the lake and her family. She didn't seem bothered by it. She said Guatapé was peaceful. Why would she leave? Day 6, she invited me to her house for dinner. Meet my family, she said. They'll like you. I was nervous, didn't know what to expect. But I went. Her family lived in this little compound off the main road, 3 houses around a dirt courtyard. Her parents in one house. Her grandmother in another. Her 2 brothers shared the third with their girlfriends. Everyone together. Chickens running around. A dog tied up near the gate. There must have been 15 people there that night. Parents, brothers, grandmother, aunts, uncles, cousins. All talking at once. Loud and warm and chaotic. They fed me till I couldn't move. Arepas, sancocho, fried pork, rice, beans, more bandeja paisa. Carolina's mum kept filling my plate. Every time I finished something, more appeared. Her dad asked what I did. Electrician, I said. He nodded like that was proper respectable work. Asked how long I'd been doing it. 28 years, I said. He smiled. A man who works with his hands is a good man, he said through Carolina translating. Her grandmother sat next to me at one point, grabbed my hand, looked right in my eyes, said something in Spanish I didn't understand. Carolina translated, she says you have kind eyes. She says you've had pain but you're strong. I didn't know what to say to that, just nodded. The grandmother patted my hand and smiled. I left that night feeling something I hadn't felt in years, like I belonged somewhere. I extended my trip. Another week, then another. By week 4, I wasn't talking about leaving. Caroline and I were together by then, properly together. She'd stay at my hostel some nights. I'd stay at her family's place others. Her dad was traditional, but he liked me. Said as long as we were serious, it was fine. Her mum treated me like another son. It felt easy. No games, no drama, no walking on eggshells like my marriage had been. Just two people who liked each other. She'd laugh at my terrible Spanish. I'd laugh at her trying to explain Colombian slang in English. We'd sit by the lake at sunset and not need to talk. I went back to Sheffield in April. Lasted 3 months. Couldn't stop thinking about her. We'd video call every day. She'd show me the lake, her mum cooking, the dog. I'd show her my flat, the rainy streets, my boring routine. She never once asked me for money. Never hinted. Never suggested I come back. She just said she missed me. But I missed her more. So I came back, July 2019, bought a one-way ticket, told my kids I was taking a year out. Maybe longer. They thought I'd lost it. My daughter said I was having a midlife crisis. My son just said, "Be careful, Dad." My ex-wife laughed when she heard. Said I'd be back in 3 months. I wasn't. Carolina cried when she picked me up from the bus station in Guatapé. Proper tears. Held on to me like I might disappear. Her whole family threw me a welcome back dinner. Her dad shook my hand. Her mum kissed my cheek. The grandmother held my hand again and said something about fate. I moved into a little rental in the village. 1-bedroom place, basic but clean. 800,000 pesos a month, about 200 quid. Started doing some electrical work for locals. Cash jobs, nothing official. Didn't need work papers for small stuff. Fixed lights, wired new outlets. Installed fans. Word got around. The English electrician. Charged less than the local guys because I didn't need much money. Life was cheap. Rent was 200 quid. Food was nothing. Meals out were 3 quid. Beer was a quid. Could live comfortable on 800 quid a month. I was happy. By December we were talking about marriage. Her family loved me. I loved them. Carolina and I were solid. It felt right, but she said we needed our own place. Living in a rental wasn't proper for a married couple. Not in her culture. Her dad agreed. Pulled me aside one night. "You're a good man," he said. "But if you're serious about my daughter, you need to build something permanent." There was land next to the family compound. Empty plot, maybe a 1/4 acre. Her dad said we could build there. Be close to family but have our own space. Our own home. It'd cost maybe 150 million pesos to build something decent. About 35,000 quid at the time. I had the money, not all of it liquid, but I could get it. The flat in Sheffield was paid off, worth about 110,000 quid. I could sell it, build here, still have money left over. I'd be mortgage-free in Colombia instead of mortgage-free in Sheffield. Warmer weather, better food. Made sense. So I did it, put the flat on the market in January. Sold by March for 110,000 quid. Wired 35,000 to Colombia, through a transfer service. Lost a bit on the exchange and fees, but nothing terrible. Started building in March 2020, just as COVID was kicking off. Good timing, actually. Lockdowns hadn't hit Colombia hard yet. Got the materials ordered, hired local builders. Carolina was buzzing, her mum was buzzing. The whole family was buzzing. I felt like I was doing something right for the first time in years. But here's the thing. In Colombia, foreigners can't own land. It's the law. Has to be in a Colombian's name. Carolina's dad explained it proper, careful like. The land was his. We were building on his land. The house would go in Carolina's name once we were married. But it was our house. We were getting married, so it didn't matter whose name was on the paper. Made sense at the time. I wasn't worried. We were solid. Her family had welcomed me. This was my home now. We got married in March 2020, right before lockdown. Small ceremony. Just family. No big party because of COVID. Held it in the courtyard at the family compound. Her grandmother did some kind of blessing with herbs and water. Everyone cried. I cried. My kids watched on video call from England. My daughter was crying. My son looked worried, but he said congratulations. It felt real. The house was finished by June. Took longer than expected because of lockdown delays. 2 bedrooms, nice kitchen, bathroom with a proper shower, little courtyard out back. Cost a bit more than planned. 200 million pesos total. About 45,000 quid. Builders added things as we went. Better tiles, better windows. I didn't argue, it was our home. Carolina moved in first, got it all set up. Furniture from Medellin, pots and pans from her mum, decorations from the market. By the time I moved in properly, it felt like a real house. Our house. She'd wake up early and make breakfast. We'd sit in the courtyard with coffee. Life was good. That's when I met Don Fabio. Carolina's grandmother was getting older. She'd been having bad dreams, waking up confused, feeling weak, not eating much. The family was worried. Carolina said they needed to take her to see Don Fabio. He's a Brujo, she said, a spiritual healer. He can help. I'd heard about Brujos, read about them online. Spiritual healers, bit like shamans. They read coca leaves, do cleansings, mix herbs. Part of the culture here, especially in the smaller towns and villages. People go to them for everything. Bad luck, illness, relationship problems, protection. It's taken seriously. I didn't believe in it. But I wasn't going to disrespect Carolina's family by saying so. If they wanted to take the grandmother to a spiritual healer, that was their business. We all went. Me, Carolina, her parents, her brothers, the grandmother. Big family trip. Don Fabio lived up in the hills outside Guatapé. Dirt road, small house, surrounded by trees. Older guy, maybe 70, hard to tell. Serious face. Didn't smile much. Had this presence about him. Quiet but intense. Inside his house was like something out of a film. Candles everywhere. Jars of herbs on shelves. Pictures of Jesus and the Virgin Mary next to other stuff I didn't recognise. Stones, feathers, bits of bone. Incense burning. It smelled earthy and sweet and a bit like church. He had us all sit down. Looked at the grandmother for a long time without saying anything. Then he started his reading. Pulled out a cloth and spread it on the floor. Dumped coca leaves on it from a pouch. Stared at them. Moved them around with his fingers. Everyone was silent. Waiting. After maybe 10 minutes he started talking. Fast Spanish. Carolina translated bits for me. He said there was bad energy around the family. Something from the past. Someone had cursed them years ago. Jealousy from a neighbour or a relative. He wasn't sure who, but the curse had been sitting, there festering. The grandmother's illness was connected to it. Her dreams were warnings. If they didn't cleanse the curse, it would spread to others in the family. Carolina's mum started crying. Her dad looked scared. The grandmother was nodding like it all made perfect sense. Don Fabio said he could fix it. But it would take time. He needed to do multiple cleansings, prepare special herbs, perform rituals. It was serious work. It would cost. How much? Her dad asked. 500,000 pesos for the first session. About 125 quid. Her dad paid on the spot. Cash. Don Fabio gave the grandmother a small pouch of dried herbs, told her to boil them in water and drink it twice a day, told her to come back in 2 weeks. We left. Everyone seemed relieved, like a weight had been lifted. I didn't say anything. What was I going to say? That it was bollocks? That coca leaves can't tell you about curses? I kept my mouth shut. 2 weeks later, back to Don Fabio. The grandmother said she felt a bit better. The dreams were less intense. Don Fabio did another reading. More coca leaves. More staring. He said the cleansing was working, but the curse was deeper than he thought. It had roots. It was affecting the whole family now. Not just the grandmother. He could see it in the leaves. Carolina's mum had been having headaches. Her dad's truck had broken down twice in 1 month. Her brother couldn't find steady work. All connected, he said. All part of the curse, spreading. And then he looked at me. You've brought your own bad energy here, he said through Carolina translating. From your divorce, from your past, from your country. It's mixing with the family curse, making it stronger. You need to be cleansed too. Everyone turned to look at me. Carolina grabbed my hand. I felt like I was on trial. Don Fabio said he needed to do a limpieza on me, a spiritual cleansing. It would take 3 sessions, 1.5 million pesos total, about 350 quid. I wanted to laugh. I wanted to say this is ridiculous, but Carolina's mum was crying again. Her dad looked at me with these desperate eyes. The grandmother reached for my hand. Carolina squeezed my hand tighter. "Please," she whispered. "For the family, for me." So I paid it. Right there, pulled out my wallet, counted out the cash. 500,000 pesos for the first session. Don Fabio had me sit in a wooden chair in the middle of the room. He walked around me holding a bundle of herbs, waved them over my head, my shoulders, my back, burned something that smelled like sage but sharper, sprinkled water on my head from a clay bowl, chanted in Spanish. Some of it sounded like prayers, some of it sounded older than that. It went on for an hour. I sat there feeling like a right idiot. But everyone was watching, so I kept still, kept quiet. When it was done, he said I'd feel lighter, clearer. The bad energy was being released. I'd notice it over the next few days. I didn't feel any different, but when we left, Carolina hugged me tight. "Thank you," she said. "You don't know what this means to them." To me. And I thought, if 350 quid makes her happy and helps her, family feels safe, maybe it's worth it. Second session, same thing. More herbs, more chanting, more water. Another 500,000 pesos. Third session, he said the cleansing was working, but he'd seen something new in the leaves. My ex-wife back in England had put bad energy on me before I left. Jealousy, bitterness. She didn't want me to be happy. It was still attached to me like a shadow. He needed to do a deeper cleansing to cut that cord. Stronger herbs, more sessions. Another 2 million pesos. About 450 quid. Carolina begged me. I could see it in her eyes. She believed every word. Her family believed every word. I paid it. I've spent about 48,000 quid total since arriving in Colombia. The house, the wedding, Don Fabio, helping Carolina's dad fix his roof after a storm, buying a car so me and Carolina could get around easier, a little Chevrolet Spark, 30 million pesos, about 7,000 quid. Put it in Carolina's name because I didn't have residency. I still had about 55,000 quid left from the flat sale and my original savings. I wasn't worried. Not yet. But Don Fabio wasn't done. October, Carolina's mum got sick. Stomach problems. Couldn't keep food down. Lost weight. They took her to a doctor first, I'll give them that. Doctor in Medellin ran tests, said it was stress. Gastritis, gave her pills, told her to avoid spicy food and coffee. The pills didn't help. 2 weeks later, she was worse. So they went to Don Fabio. He did a reading, said it was connected to the family curse. The curse was fighting back because we'd been weakening it with the cleansings. Now it was attacking Carolina's mum to punish the family, to show its power. He said he needed to do a protection ritual for the whole family, not just cleansings. A full ceremony. Candles at each house in the compound. Offerings to protect everyone. Special herbs buried at the 4 corners of the property. It was big work, serious work. 5 million pesos. Carolina was crying when she told me. Her mum was getting worse. What if Don Fabio could help? What if this was real? Could I really say no? I couldn't. Not to her, not to her family looking at me like I was their only hope. I paid it. Don Fabio came to the family compound 2 days later. Brought 2 assistants with him. Young guys, maybe 20s. They set up candles in every room of every house. Big white candles, dozens of them. Burned herbs in clay bowls. Sprinkled this mixture of water and crushed leaves on all the doorways and windows. Buried small pouches at the 4 corners of the property, while chanting. The ceremony lasted 6 hours. The whole family was there watching. Her grandmother was praying. Her dad was serious and quiet. Carolina held my hand the whole time. When it was done, Don Fabio said the protection was in place. The curse couldn't touch them now, but they had to maintain it. Monthly cleansings. Offerings. Respect for the spirits. Carolina's mum felt better within a week. Maybe it was the ceremony. Maybe the doctor's pills finally kicked in. Maybe it was just time and rest. I don't know. But the family believed it worked. And that's when it became a regular thing. Every few months, something would come up. Carolina's older brother couldn't find steady work. Kept getting hired, then let go after a few weeks. Don Fabio said he had bad energy from a jealous coworker at his last job. Needed a cleansing. 1 million pesos I paid. Her dad's truck broke down again. Transmission went. Don Fabio said it wasn't mechanical, it was spiritual. Someone had cursed the vehicle. Needed a protection ritual for the truck. 800,000 pesos. I paid. The grandmother had another bad dream. Said she saw a dark figure standing over her bed. Don Fabio said the curse was trying to come back. Needed another ceremony. 3 million pesos. I paid. Each time it was between 500,000 and 3 million pesos, sometimes more, and each time Carolina would come to me with tears in her eyes. Please, for the family. By mid-2021, I'd spent another 20,000 quid on Don Fabio alone, plus helping the family with other expenses. Carolina's younger brother needed money for a motorbike so he could look for work in other towns. 8 million pesos. Her dad needed money for dental work. 4 million pesos, about 900 quid. Her mum's sister in another town got sick and needed money for medicine. 2 million pesos, about 450 quid. I'm not stupid. I could see the pattern. Money flowing out. Always for the family. Always necessary. Always urgent. But every time I thought about saying no, I'd look at Carolina. She believed it. She believed Don Fabio was protecting her family. She believed the curse was real. Her whole family believed it. And they'd welcomed me, treated me like one of their own, invited me into their lives, made me feel like I belonged. How could I tell them their beliefs were rubbish? How could I be the outsider who disrespected their culture, their traditions? Plus, things were good with me and Carolina. We were happy. She cooked these incredible meals. We'd walk around the lake on Sundays, sit in the courtyard at night with her family drinking aguardiente and laughing about nothing. She never asked for money for herself, never bought fancy clothes or jewellery. She was happy with simple things. It was always for the family, for Don Fabio, for protection, for cleansings, for blessings. By end of 2021, I was down to about 25,000 quid. I started picking up more work, found some remote work online for a small electrical supply company back in the UK. Data entry, inventory stuff, basic spreadsheets. 15 quid an hour. Worked evenings after doing local electrical jobs during the day. Needed the income. My savings were disappearing faster than I'd planned. Don Fabio's visits became more frequent in 2022. Once a month, sometimes twice. There was always something. Someone in the family had bad luck. Someone had strange dreams. Someone felt negative energy. The curse was persistent, Don Fabio said. It was a battle, a war of spirits. It required constant vigilance. Carolina's dad would pull me aside after these visits. Thank you for taking care of the family, he'd say. You're a good man, a good husband. We're lucky to have you. I wanted to believe him. Wanted to believe I was doing the right thing. But the money kept flowing out. By mid-2022, I was down to 10,000 quid. Started getting nervous. Started checking my bank account every day. Started thinking about what happens when it runs out. I brought it up with Carolina once. Gently. Said we needed to be careful with money, that I couldn't keep paying for everything. She got quiet. Then she said, "Are you saying my family is taking advantage of you?" "No," I said. "I'm just saying we need to slow down." She started crying. Said I didn't understand. Said this was about protection. About safety. About keeping the curse away. Did I want her family to suffer? Did I want her grandmother's spirit to be unprotected? I apologised. Said I understood. Said we'd figure it out. But nothing changed. By 2023, I'd burned through everything. The 110,000 quid from my flat. The 50,000 I'd saved before that. Gone. All of it. I was living month to month on the remote work and whatever electrical jobs I could pick up. Some months were tight. Really tight. I couldn't send my kids money for their birthdays without checking my balance first. And Don Fabio was still coming around. March 2023, he said the family needed a renewal ceremony. It had been 2 years since the big protection ritual. The energy was weakening, the curse was probing for weaknesses. They needed to reinforce the protection. 6 million pesos. I didn't have it. Not in cash. I told Carolina I didn't have it. She begged. Her mum begged. Her dad said he'd understand if I couldn't. Help, but he looked so disappointed. I used a credit card. First time I'd carried credit card debt in 20 years. Felt sick doing it. We did the ceremony, same as before. Candles, herbs, chanting, offerings. Everyone thanked me, called me a good man, a protector. I went to bed that night thinking, what the hell am I doing? Last month, November 2024, Carolina's grandmother died. She was 84. Had been declining for months. It was expected. Peaceful. She went in her sleep. But Don Fabio said we needed a ceremony. A big one. To make sure her spirit passed peacefully into the next world. To make sure the curse didn't follow her spirit and come back even stronger on the family. To make sure she was protected on her journey. 12 million pesos. About 2,500 quid. I didn't have it. Told Carolina I didn't have it. Showed her my bank account. Showed her the credit card statement. She cried for 2 days. Her mum cried. Her dad looked at me like I'd failed them. Like I'd broken a promise. Don Fabio came to the house. Sat with me, said he understood money was difficult. But this was the grandmother. This was important. Couldn't I find a way? For her, for the family? I borrowed it. Another credit card. Cash advance. 23% interest. First time I'd done that in my life. We did the ceremony. It was massive. The whole village came. Don Fabio brought 4 assistants. They chanted for hours. Set up an altar with the grandmother's photo. Flowers, candles, food offerings. Everyone cried. Everyone hugged me. Thanked me. Told me the grandmother's spirit was grateful. I stood there thinking, I'm 47 years old and I'm 5,000 quid in credit card debt for a ceremony I don't believe in. But I didn't leave. Because here's the thing. I love Carolina. I do. She's kind, she's loyal. She takes care of me. When I'm sick, she makes me soup and sits with me. When I'm tired from work, she rubs my shoulders. When I'm stressed, she holds me and tells me it'll be okay. She laughs at my jokes even when they're terrible. She's never cheated on me, never lied to me as far as I know, never asked for anything for herself. She believes all this Brujo stuff because that's how she was raised. Her whole family believes it. It's not a scam to them. It's real. It's their culture, their tradition, their way of protecting themselves from bad things. Am I being taken advantage of? Maybe. Probably. Some days I'm sure I am. Other days I think I'm just the ignorant foreigner who doesn't understand. Is Don Fabio a con artist who saw a rich foreigner and decided to milk him dry? Possibly. Is he a genuine believer who thinks he's helping? Also possible. I don't know. I'll never know. Am I happy? Sometimes. Most days. When it's just me and Carolina in our house. Yeah. When we're walking by the lake. When I'm sitting with her family at night and we're all laughing. Those moments feel real. But when I check my bank account, when I see the credit card, statements, when I think about the fact that I'm 47 with nothing left, that's when the doubt creeps in. Is it worth $180,000? That's the question I ask myself every day. The house is in her name. If I leave, I lose it. It's worth maybe 45,000 quid now. The car is in her name. Worth maybe 5,000 quid. If I leave, I lose it all. I've got no savings, I'm in debt. I go back to Sheffield with nothing but credit card bills and stories no one would believe. What would I even do? I'm 47, I'd have to rent, start over, work till I'm 70 to rebuild what I lost. My kids would look at me with pity. My ex-wife would say, I told you so. So I stay. I work my electrical jobs. I do my remote work in the evenings. I pay for the ceremonies when Don Fabio says they're needed. I try not to check my bank balance too often. I sit in the courtyard with Carolina's family at night. I watch the sunset over the lake. I hold Carolina's hand, and I tell myself it's love. Because if it's not love, if it's just a long, slow con that I've been too stupid or too stubborn to see, then what the hell have I been doing for 4.5 years? My mates back home think I've lost the plot. They message me sometimes. Ask when I'm coming back. I tell them I'm not. They go quiet after that. My kids worry. My daughter asks if I'm okay, if I need anything. I tell her I'm fine, I'm happy. She doesn't sound convinced. My son asked me once if Carolina was real, or if this was all some sort of scam. I got angry, told him he didn't understand. We didn't talk for 2 months after that. My ex-wife heard about it somehow. Mutual friends probably. She sent me one message. Just said, I hope she's worth it. I didn't reply. So here I am, in a village in Colombia, in a house I don't own, married to a woman I love who believes in things I don't, paying a spiritual healer to fight a curse I'm not sure exists, broke, in debt. 47 years old with nothing to show for it except stories and bills and a courtyard with a nice view of the lake. You tell me if I'm being scammed. You tell me if it's love, because I honestly don't know anymore. Some days I think I'm the luckiest man alive. I've got a beautiful wife who loves me, a family that treats me like one of their own, a peaceful life in a beautiful place. Other days I think I'm the biggest mug in Colombia, and that everyone knows it except me. Both things feel true at the same time. Is it love or is it a long spiritual con? Andy's still trying to figure that out. Thanks for sharing, Andy. This is my expat stories. Back soon with another.